Greetings, my brothers. This is Sean Blazington with Sean Blazington Radio. Today, I received some very secret documents from my sources. I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I first looked over these papers, I never realized the subliminal messages within the NBA. It's really deep, and I need you to pay close attention. I'm going to walk you through this. Basically, every superstar on every NBA team has to look like their team logo or have something in common with their team logo. What I'm telling you is that the face of every franchise has to have something related to the logo of their team. Inside of this document I'm looking at right now, it says you will not be a superstar for any team if you do not have something in common with the logo of your team. We might as well start with the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. Have you ever noticed that Michael Jordan looks just like the Bulls logo? It's not a coincidence. This is by design. I know you're thinking, what about Scottie Pippen? He was Michael Jordan's right-hand man. Newsflash, he looks exactly like the Chicago Bulls logo also. The Illuminati is so deep with this symbolism, with these subliminal messages, they remade the 1996 Chicago Bulls with the modern Chicago Bulls with Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose. Not only does Derrick Rose look like Scottie Pippen, he also looked like the Chicago Bulls logo. And not only does Jimmy Butler resemble Michael Jordan, he also looks like the Chicago Bulls logo. Open your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a game. And not only do they have to look like the Chicago Bulls logo, they have to take on the characteristics of the bull. Michael Jordan with his tongue sticking out is him embodying the bull. Derrick Rose getting into sex scandals and being overly horny is symbolic of the bull. It got so bad for Derrick Rose, he had to leave the team because he was too much like the bull. I have a whole nother video on Derrick Rose. My sources are telling me that Derrick Rose's injuries was sex-induced, not basketball-induced. Chicago is not the only team that preferred their players to have similarities with their logo. The Spurs is a very boring team. That's why every star player on the Spurs have had boring personalities. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kawhi Leonard, just to name a few, are very, very, very boring people. They play boring basketball, and the Spurs is just flat out boring, but very good, yes indeed. Now the Dallas Mavericks star player has been Dirk Nowitzki for a very long time. And what is the Dallas Mavericks logo? It's the horse. It's not a coincidence that Dirk Nowitzki looks exactly like a horse. He looks just like the Dallas Mavericks logo, hair and everything. Dirk Nowitzki is the horse. Look at the Boston Celtics logo. It's an old white guy chewing his gums. That old white guy is Larry Bird. Larry Bird is the Celtics logo. This is not a coincidence. This is real deep Illuminati stuff here I'm exposing to you guys. What about the Oklahoma City Thunder? Look at Russell Westbrook. Who does he remind you of? Lion-O from the Thundercats. Russell's personality is just like Lion-O's personality from the Thundercats. The NBA has a very sick sense of humor. What about the Washington Wizards? When you think of a wizard, you think of an old guy with a long beard. Have you noticed that John Wall has grown his beard out? The NBA made him grow his beard out so he can look like a wizard. Remember when Chris Bosh played for the Toronto Raptors? He looks just like the Raptor. People has made jokes over the years, oh, Chris Bosh looks like a baby dinosaur. But no, the NBA knew this when they drafted Chris Bosh, that he looked like a dinosaur. And that's why they placed him with the Raptors. And that's why he was the face player of the Toronto Raptors because he looks just like a Raptor. I know you're probably saying, what about when a player gets traded? A lot of times when a player looks exactly like the logo and he gets traded, his career goes downhill. Look at Chris Bosh. He traded to the Heat and his career went sideways. What about the Minnesota Timberwolves? Their logo is a ferocious wolf. And you know who that ferocious wolf is? Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is the wolf of the Timberwolves. His personality is the personality of a wolf, and that's why he was a part of that franchise. Now, what about the Utah Jazz? Well, you figure when you think of jazz, you have to think of a jazzy type of person, a calm, mellow, cool type of guy. No one else fits that description better than Karl Malone. Karl Malone is the coolest, most jazziest guy you can find. Just his name alone, Karl Malone, makes you think of a jazz player. Look at him, he's jazzy. He's so jazzy, he even resembled Jazzy Jeff from the Fresh Prince shows. Now what about the New Orleans Hornets? When they was the Hornets, they had Chris Paul, which looked exactly like the Hornets logo. And is it just me, or does the Clippers look like a bunch of barbers? Chris Paul looks like he gives the best edge-ups in the game. Blake Griffin looks like he can give you a short style Caesar with no problem. That's why they're a part of the Clippers, because they look like barbers. Now back to New Orleans. They changed their names to the Pelicans. Now, how and where are you going to find a guy that look like a pelican? Well, the NBA is sick, twisted, and they did it. They found Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the New Orleans Pelican logo. He is the Pelican. I'm not making this up. This is not bullshit. This is in the document sitting right here in front of me. It's only going to get deeper, so pay close attention. On to LeBron James. When you look up the definition of Cavalier, you will see a Cavalier is the supporter of King Charles, or in other words, the supporters of King James. You can look this up, ladies and gentlemen. The Cavaliers is the supporters of King James. That's what their franchise is all about, and that's why they have LeBron James. And another thing that's even sicker, that's even more twisted than that, is that LeBron James looks exactly like the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel dog. Look at this dog and look how the white part around the hairline is formed. Then look at LeBron James' hairline. I can go on and on with more details, more facts, more proof about every team, but I'm going to save it for another video. Now what I want you to do is subscribe and leave a comment and tell me what you think about this. Because like I said, it's going to be a shitstorm this NBA season. I have all of these documents in front of me, spread out across my desk. Oh my gosh, it's just so much sickness within the NBA, and I'm going to expose it. This is your boy Sean Blaze. I'm out.